So this morning we've got a bit of a fix job in. I don't really know how to describe it in all fairness because it's not detailing work on this occasion. Now this basically, it's a Supra, so obviously if you didn't get that from the wing, you're not really a car guy. It's been in because the customer's just had this painted and he spent, I'm not going to tell you how much, in fairness, it's not really for me to say, but it's a ridiculous amount of money for this to be painted. And the problem is it's got lacquer pop, it's got fish eyes, it's got dry sanding marks. There's paint where, or I should say there's panels where the actual primer has bled through the paint. In all truthfulness, this needs full respray really to be right, to be perfect I should say, and this shouldn't have been given back to the guy. He shouldn't have basically, whoever's painted this should have been pretty disappointed with themselves. Now I don't know what it was like when it went to him. Obviously we don't know what was involved, we don't know the full discussion, we don't know what they asked for, what they were told they were going to get. They're things that we're not involved in and we're not going to get involved in, but the reality is the money that this guy's paid for this repaint is pretty disgusting, and I can see why he's not really enthusiastic about it. And it's not nice to kind of have a car that you've built, put a lot of pride in, something you really want to get up and running, and then find that it's just not to the standard you want after you've paid for something doing on it. So what we found is things like the body kit itself here, it just isn't lined up whatsoever, so you can actually see that this is too tight, this is too tight, there's a massive gap here, it's actually cracked on there. That should have been prepped before it were actually painted. Same with the back of the bumper here, I can actually get my hand down it. All this should have been even just something like silicone sealed and actually lined up and tightened up so that actually fits flush. So what we're in for today and tomorrow is just to try and fix the body kit side. Now we've mentioned it's going to need repainting because we're going to be sanding and milling that down, so I've bought some new tools to do that. So we've got some new sort of milling tools, we've got a brand new buzz gun basically, or like a rotisserie to actually get on with it. We're going to be fixing the body kit. I'm going to look at the rear bumper. What I'm going to do for the client that we kind of briefly spoke about, but it's not what he expects, I'm going to work on an area on the bonnet, possibly on the wing that's got quite a lot of fish eyes and sort of the air dots in there, which is basically where air and water's gone in through the paint when it's actually been painted. And I'm going to see what level we can get this to, and if it's something we can get a good finish on, because this is full of rotary sort of buffer trail and marring and general scratches from the sanding, there's DA marks, the door's wet sanded down here, it's dry. If we can get some of these panels looking absolutely mint, then it's something we might look at taking on for the customer if he can't get it repainted, and actually spend a few weeks or maybe a month and a few like days in between working on it and get this to a seriously high-end finish for him without him having to worry and stress about getting some new paint on it. So again, I'm going to show you those panels now. I'll get a bit of a focus up on them, guys. I'm going to jump on it, see what we can get done, and I'm actually going to enjoy working on a Supra, and hopefully I can get the panels and the paint looking how the way it should be, so the guy can be enthusiastic about it. Because let's be honest, these cars are iconic, they're only going up in value, and it's not something you see right often.
Men come quick trying to fight it, and you know I look good when I mirror, mirror, who's the baddest, can't deny it. He love when I men come quick trying to fight it, and you know I look good when I mirror, mirror.
So what we've just found is the bumper itself on the rear is actually held on with a cable tie, and it's still got all the flatting dust down here. So what we're going to have to do is basically clean all this out, steam it out, and then we're actually going to silicone this onto the car properly, and we're going to look at actually adapting a real sort of nut and bolt system on here, possibly shaving some of this down so it's flush, but just trying to get it as factory as possible. So what you can see there is I tried to put a detailing light on. Well, I did put a detailing light on, and the truth is you don't need it. That's how rough the paint is. It's dry, it needs sanding, it's got fish eyes in it, it's got loads of sort of air and rain dots in there. It just needs fully blocking, but the problem is we don't know how much lacquer's on it. So we're going to do a bit of a test panel just to see what we can get. This is now how the rear bumper fits, and as you can see it's solid, it's not moving. That is flush. We've got the front arch, or the front skirt, sorry, again as flush as possible on there now, just with a bit of masking tape which is going to come off in a minute, but this is bonded and this is pretty solid. So we've done the body kit, we've done what we needed to do to get it into a position where it looks actually like a factory fit. We're just going to have a go on, I think I'm going to do a couple of panels to be honest, because this one's pretty bad here. This is horrendously dry, and again if you look right here, you can probably see on this bit of camera, this is just dry where someone sanded it and not basically buffed it back up. So I'm going to have a quick go on those panels and I'll get some more footage. I know as a detailer, and been doing this for sort of 23 years, actually more because I was painting a car and I hand built something in 1999. You always know you can get a better finish than what's currently there, but sometimes you still kind of get impressed on what you finish you get, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've only spent 5 minutes on this panel to get the finish I've got. Now I can still see a bit of fisheye in it, I can still see some sanding marks, some DA marks from the sander. But do you know what, I'm going to show you the finish I've got on here in literally 5 minutes, which is making me know that I can seriously improve the finish on this car and make it really stand out.